Hello everybody, this is The Horror Sickness and a warm welcome to episode 8 of my collection overview. If you saw episode number 7, the previous episode, you'll know where we're going to be starting, and as always we're going to crack straight into it with 1973's The Crazies, George A. Romero's 4th feature-length film, which comes 5 years after The Night of the Living Dead and 5 years before Dawn of the Dead. I can't help but feel this one hasn't quite aged as well as the majority of his works. I think this film, which obviously full of social commentary, as is all of his work, would have had much more of an impact at the time of its release and not so much in retrospect. It's low budget, the actors are all amateurs, owing to that low budget, and in most of Romero's works where this has been the case, that really works. Unfortunately for me in this one, it doesn't. I'm sure the bunch of you, probably 99.9% of the people that watch this, are going to be Romero fans. I am myself, I'm a huge Romero fan, but unfortunately for me, this is his weakest work, or his weakest that I've seen up to date. Next up, we have, obviously, The Crazies. This is the 2010 remake, which I'll start by saying is one of the very few remakes I actually prefer over the original. I remember going to see this one with a mate while I lived in London, one of the very few times I actually ventured out to the cinema, and came out completely underwhelmed. I went away, I thought about it, I picked it up on DVD when it came out, I watched it again and absolutely loved it. I don't know what was wrong the first time, but the second time I loved it. Well, maybe love is too strong, but I really enjoyed it. This version focuses more on the people involved, more so than the military folk on which the original one focused. Also, Timothy Olyphant, I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced, is an actor that I do like, and I think in time he has the potential to be fantastic. I can see him ageing really well as an actor. If you haven't seen this one, or I've avoided it because it's a remake, then don't. Go and get it, give it a go. Whether or not you'll prefer it to the original obviously is down to taste, but for me personally, it's one of the few remakes that really does improve on the original. Next up, we have Creature. This is from 1998, and I need to start by thanking Paul, Selma the God, link is going to be below, for sending me this one as part of a prize win about a year ago, while I was Frightmare 100. I looked into this one a little and found it's based on a book called White Shark, which had the creature as a Nazi experiment gone wrong and lost before it comes back years later to prey on people. They didn't go along with that in the film, and were instead just presented with a mutant beast attacking a secret military base. It's really good cheesy fun. If you know Paul, if you know Selma the God, you'll know what kind of film he's into, and what kind of things he likes. And obviously he liked this one, that's why he sent it to me, and I can see it's right up his street. It's not to be taken too seriously. Which is where one of my slight issues with it comes. The main actor, or the main guy, Craig T. Nelson, seems, I'm not sure, but he seems to have not been told that it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, and he takes his role very seriously. It doesn't seem that he's doing it intentionally, but as I say, he takes it really seriously, which kind of makes it even funnier in a way, but it's as if they didn't quite tell him and he was taking it as a serious feature, and it doesn't kind of sit particularly well. So it's a shame then that the rest of the actors, the film, the plot, the direction and so on are not handled in the same way, and just end up being funny, making Nelson's character and the way he plays it seem, as I say, a little bit odd. But hey, it's a good laugh, and I'm probably reading way too much into it. Next up, and the wrong way around, we have this. This is Creature from the Black Lagoon, as you can see from the Legacy collection from 1954, and the glare on this is shocking. Actually, leave that there for a second, I'll explain. This is another one I need to thank someone for, and I've thanked him many times. Sean, Winterking 1967, link's going to be below, sent me this a long time ago, and I have every intention of collecting all of these Legacy editions to go along with this one. Creature from the Black Lagoon is directed by Jack Arnold, who during the 50s was the go-to man for sci-fi features. In this one, a prehistoric beast lurks in the depths of the Amazonian jungle, and a group of scientists try to capture the creature for study. And you all know it, you should all own it. It's a man in a monster suit, it's wonderful. What we're going to do at this point is go to the table. God knows what it's going to be this week, but carry on calling it the table. And we're going to take a bit of a closer look at this, and also not an edition of a film, but something else to go along with it. So we're going to take a look at a couple of different things, get a bit of a closer look at this, which is a really nice edition, and then we'll come back to the shelf. Hello everybody and welcome to this episode's table. If you've been watching the previous ones, you'll know that it's not going to be a table. In fact, this time, if you take a look, it's the TV stand in the living room. Try and get it in shot. You can see what we're going to be looking at there. We looked at this earlier. This is the creature from the Black Lagoon. I want to take a bit of a closer look, but I also wanted to have a look at this, which kind of ties in with it, and I'll explain a bit better in a moment. But yeah, let's first up take a look at this. This is from the Legacy Collection, Creature from the Black Lagoon. I've already opened this, so it isn't sealed. You can also take a look at this. This is the crawling hand that my wife bought me. All very good. Push it off the table. Right, lock it in. That's enough. So yeah, this is Creature from the Black Lagoon from the Legacy Collection, and if we just take a look at the side, that's exactly what it says, and we'll take a look at the back in a moment. But if we open it up, it's just really lovely. You've got the clear thing left over, the slip cover that comes there, and it's in this kind of digibook, which I don't have any of really. I think this is the only real digibook I've got, but it's really good quality, really nice and solid. And it opens up and it shows the other ones that are in the set. You can also get the one with the bust, the heads, which is really nice but quite expensive. There we go. So if you want to pause and take a look at that and give it a read, you can do. Also, there's a little bit more information on each of the films that are in it. Creature from the Black Lagoon, Revenge of the Creature, and The Creature Walks Among Us. And it's all on two lovely looking discs. And if I'm going to be able to get these out without destroying it, we'll take a look, because there's some fantastic artwork as well on the back. Look at that. Looks really lovely. And then if I look at the back of the slip again, you can give that a pause if you like, take a good look. The special features includes Revenge of the Creature, as we said, and The Creature Walks Among Us. Back to the Black Lagoon, which is an in-depth documentary examining the creature phenomenon and film histories, cast members, commentaries, things like that. But yeah, as I said, I just wanted to show that. It looks just a really nice looking set, and I'll put that in away in a second. The other thing I wanted to show, obviously this comes from the Universal Monsters collection. I got this from my wife. Not sure if you'll really know what that is to start with, but if we turn it over first, it's going to be difficult to pick it up. But there we go, it's trademark of Universal Studios, so that may give you an idea. And if we open it up, there he is, there's the mummy inside. It's hard and it's difficult to show unless you're watching it in HD. The detail, I'm not sure how well it's going to show it, but it's really good detail. And he's got holes in his feet. I'm not sure, there's nothing in there. Maybe there's a way of standing him, I'm not sure. Maybe he pops into something. Maybe you can get like other things to go in the set and it can stand up, but I just usually have him stood up on the shelf within this itself. He does usually stay in there. There we go, looks really nice, and then just pop that next to him. And that's how it looks on the shelf, looks really nice. So yeah, that's the mummy from the Universal Monster Collection. I'm going to be trying and picking up some more of these. Got that one a little while ago. And obviously the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Sean, thank you once again for sending that to me. Very nice. And let's get back to the shelf. Yep, so there you go. Couple of nice little things there. Again, Sean, thank you very much. Link will be below. Really lovely edition. Really do enjoy that one. And also the figure. Yeah, so on to the next one. And we have this. This is Creep, or Cree, as you can see, from 2004. This is from the director of Severance, which I've got to say to this day is the one and only Danny Dyer film I like and don't have the urge to poke my own eyes out while trying to watch him act. Yeah, there we go, I said it. Christopher Smith, who also directed Triangle, which is a bizarre but very good little film. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. Anyway, Creep is the film we're looking at. It's his first feature-length film, and it's one of those that the more I watch it, the more I like it. Simple plot: a woman misses the last train and is stuck on an underground station in London for the night, and is not alone. Basically, having lived in London, this one does hit home a bit more for me, having spent a lot of time down on the underground, especially the Northern Line. So it has that kind of extra edge to it, because I know what it's like down there, how claustrophobic it is, and the idea of having a creature down there would be absolutely creepy. It's well paced, it's well shot, it's well acted, it's well worth a watch. And I don't know if you can see that, but just in the little window there, a guy who I knew through a friend worked on the original creature design and some of the storyboarding and stuff for this film. He signed it for me and he drew. It's one of the original monsters, what they were going to look like, one of the little concept drawings that he worked on, and he did his own little kind of version of it there in the window, so that's a bit of a one-off and pretty cool. Next up, from 1982, just get it, we have another one that's backwards. I'm getting the habit of doing this. As you can see, it's Creepshow. Inspired by the EC comics of the 1950s, George Romero and Stephen King came together to bring us this fantastic anthology. As much as people love this show now, obviously including myself, I can't imagine how excited people must have been when this was released. It must have just been a horror fan's wet dream come true. This one comes in this slip cover, so I'm just going to pull that out so you can see. Yeah, well, obviously adding Tom Savini as well, who was doing the gore effects, and it just couldn't fail, and it didn't. 5 original vignettes of people killing each other, being killed, going crazy, and getting the crap scared out of them. All of this brought together with some really great acting, mostly, and brilliant writing and direction, of course. I don't physically own the sequels, I do have them on a hard drive. I do have every intention of picking them up. But it may be that it's not such a bad thing that I don't have them. 2's good, 3 is just awful at best, and I don't know, if it wasn't for the fact that I was a completist, I probably wouldn't even pick it up. There's also been talk for a long while about a 4th instalment, or even a direct remake, which wouldn't surprise me, but would just piss me right off. Next up, we have from 1993, Cronos, and this is from one of my favourite directors, Guillermo del Toro. In this, we follow the story of a Mexican antiques dealer called Jesus, who one day stumbles upon a golden mechanical bug, which when applied to specific parts of the body starts reversing the aging process. This obviously attracts the wrong kind of attention, in particular from an old guy who wants the object for himself, and his son Angel, played really well by Ron Perlman. In fact, it's probably one of my favourite performances of Ron Perlman's is in this movie. When this film, just a little thing as well, I was trying to look into it, but when this film went over budget from 1.5 million Canadian dollars to 2 million Canadian dollars, not only did Del Toro make up the money himself through loans, but Ron Perlman took a huge pay cut in order to help with the finances for finishing the movie. Obviously, since then, Perlman and Del Toro have stayed friends and have worked together quite a bit, which I just think is a cool little story behind the making of it. And if you haven't seen it, it's brilliant. It's not quite as strong as his work coming after this, Devil's Backbone, The Orphanage, but obviously Pan's Labyrinth, but definitely worth a watch. Next up, and probably last for today, we have Cube. Cube is fantastic, simple as that. It's from 1997, directed by Vincenzo Natali, who would go on to direct Splice. Basically, 7 strangers wake up in what seems like a never-ending maze of cubes, full of deadly traps, and they obviously want out. Some at anybody's expense. Low budget, Canadian, horror sci-fi. The fact that they only had to build a single set, one single room, and just change the lighting and the design of the room every now and again, meant that the budget could be stretched, and this really shows. The effects are mainly practical and mostly excellent. The film is very suspenseful, very original, thought-provoking, very clever, very claustrophobic, everything you want from this type of film. I love this film, as I say. For me, it's a hidden gem. I think more and more people are getting to know more and more about it. I also have the follow-ups, again, on a hard drive, which I do have every intention of picking up. But the follow-ups are what they are. They do go down in quality, as a lot of follow-ups do of films, but nevertheless worth a watch, and I'll definitely be picking them up as and when I can. Okay, we're going to leave it there. That's the end of episode 8. Please wait around at the end of the video. There's going to be a link to the playlist. I've set up a playlist which makes it easier just for everybody to go through and look at every episode, because we're obviously getting to a bit of a higher number now. Please look out for episode 9, which should be coming soon. Then we also have episode 10, which is going to be a bit of a special, and I won't talk about that. But yeah, join me in episode 9. I have something coming up in episode 9 as well that you're definitely going to want to see. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, everybody.